Good morning. Today we're going to make a spring tea, an early spring tea. It is not springtime here, but I am feeling the spring because it is so beautiful outside and has been for the last few days. So I'm just about out of my winter tea. So instead of making another batch of winter tea, I was thinking I will make a batch of spring tea. Now with my spring tea, I'm going to be adding similar ingredients to what I used for my winter tea, only because I still like those properties of those herbs. But there are a few I'm going to add that come out in the spring that I harvested or had purchased last year or before. And because they're like a springtime plant, they're going to help detoxify after winter, make sure nothing's stagnant, and we're just going to feel better. So if you remember, if you've watched my winter tea, then you'll know that I usually add mullein, chamomile. I actually add spearmint. I was adding elderflower until I ran out, and some licorice root. I also add rose hips for some vitamin C and other goodies, and nettle. So this one I'm going to add a little bit different. And you can see this last batch that I'm just finishing up, I made a little bit different because I ran out of this. So the great thing about these herbs is they are very versatile. And a lot of times if you're out of one herb, you can replace it with a different one. So a lot of herbs have multiple uses, and that's wonderful because they're, I might have something here that grows naturally and it may not grow in another part of the world or another part of the United States. And that's because of different, just different regions. But it is so fascinating how these plants have different purposes and some can be used for the same thing. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Then we're going to make some tea and we're going to have some spring tea. So I kind of grouped these in rows because this is what I'm going to use the most of, the next, and then the least of. I am going to use horsetail herb. This is the first time I'm using this one. So I'm going to put this one in this category. I'm going to use stinging nettle, which I'm probably always going to have in my tea because of its benefits. This is a new one. This is dandelion leaves that I harvested. We've got some calendula flowers. We have some hibiscus, which is new. Both of these are new in the spring one. This is burdock root, and I put it here because it is a root, so this will infuse for a little bit longer than like a normal tea. This will be a long infusion, possibly overnight, or one of those things that if I forget about it, it's okay. And then here we have some more rose hips. These are both rose hips. I just had so much. I'm going to try to use one of my jars and get it out of the cabinet. And then I'm going to try this and we're going to see. These are actually some of my roses from my grandma. And this is the plant that I have out by the garage. And I saved some of those and we're going to use those because I've had them and I want to get them used. So these are red violets. Of course, they're purple. But if you've seen these out, they come up real early in spring. Cute little bitty plants close to the ground. And you can pick these and dry these and you can use these. So what I'm really hoping for is a beautiful color for this tea with just the flowers, especially these purple and the hibiscus. I'm hoping for like a purpley color. I don't know if I'll get that or not, and I'm really hoping it tastes good because I'm really winging it. Now, I'm using a lot of herbs, and you don't have to use this many herbs. You can use one herb, you can use two. This might actually be too many. So if you don't have all of these, leave them out, or replace them with something else. I'm just using some of the stuff that I have, like my garden roses. I had the purple violet and things like that. I'm just adding those because I want to use them up and I want to see, some are for color, some are for taste, but they also give you extra benefits as well. So let's go over a few of these and what the benefits are. So let's go over burdock. So burdock is great because it is high in protein and it just does a lot. Cleanses the blood. What I'm looking for in this spring tea is cleansing. So it cleanses the blood. It improves digestion. It kills bacteria and fungus as we're coming out of winter. It cleanses glands, fights infections. And then over here with dandelion, of course, this is the little weed that is in your yard. A lot of people spray and don't want these, but I love them. I love seeing them come up. You can use all the parts of this plant. This helps with anemia, which is great because that is something I struggle with. And it also, it helps with cleansing. It prevents cell damage, detoxifies joints. It just does all kinds of great things. It is a great spring plant. I'm going to throw this one in here only because I drink this every single day. This is not something that I am putting in this one, but it is something you could put in your tea. I use this because it helps anti-inflammatory, which is what I'm going for. It helps with my digestion and my gut barrier because of my sinus polyps and everything, which is inflammatory. So it just really helps, and it's good. So this is a new one, horsetail. I got this one because it is suggested as a women's tea, and I haven't made that tea yet, but I do want to add it to this one. It repairs tissue, increases bone formation, which as you know, as women, as we age, we definitely need that. Strengthens the hair and nails, aids in healthy skin, reduces inflammation, all wonderful benefits. And my favorite one is nettle, of course. And this one is probably going to be, like I said, in all of my tea. So it improves aches and in joints, arthritis, gout, rheumatism. It's beneficial to the kidneys, gallbladder, which I actually don't have. But it also contains histamines to treat asthma, allergies, hay fever. So this is a wonderful springtime herb for adding to your teas. I also love adding it, of course, to my winter tea because it helps out there as well. Here are our little rose hips, and we're going to add this. We're not going to add as much, but they are a wonderful little addition. So it fights free radicals. It strengthens immunity, of course, as we're coming out of winter time. It aids in digestion and all the good stuff right there. All right, so there are some of these and their properties and just why I'm adding them, but it's mostly just for this springtime. I'll make a batch and see how long it lasts, and then we'll see if I make another batch or not. I'm probably gonna make a summertime tea, probably be a little bit more fruity, maybe add some lemon, orange peels, and things like that. So I'm pretty excited. Of course, nettle will probably be in there, and I'm gonna see how the horsetail works. But as a woman who is postmenopausal, I need anything that's going to help me with calcium, and which is nettle. It has all the properties and minerals to help with calcium absorption. So that is another one. So you can't really just take calcium because your body's not going to absorb it if you don't have the right other minerals. So magnesium and calcium, sodium, phosphorus, all those kind of things. So nettle is really good about that. So nettle is going to help you absorb that calcium. And then, of course, we have the horsetail, which is going to help with skin. We've got some that help with anemia. We've got some, just lots of great combination of minerals and stuff that is going to help you absorb them and get your whole food nutrients instead of maybe supplementing. And of course, getting outside, getting that vitamin D, which helps absorb calcium and all the other good things, benefits of vitamin D, immunity, and everything is so connected. How your body uses all of your vitamins, the minerals, it's all connected, and you need them for cellular repair, and it is so amazing how the body works. I am learning so much, and I cannot wait to share more with you, but this is what we're doing today. So let's go ahead and get us a bowl and get us a part and see what we're gonna make. Probably gonna make a small batch first to see what it tastes like. Small batch. It's probably not gonna end up being very small. Here's my bowl. I got clear so you could see it maybe a little bit better, and this is my part. I'm actually gonna use a tablespoon. Probably should use something smaller, but we're gonna go with this and see how it works. The great thing about herbs is you can experiment and see, what you like. Just write it down so you know. And so I'm gonna get my pen handy, and I'm going to get my notebook and make sure to write down what I put in this tea blend. So I went ahead and just wrote down all the herbs I'm gonna use. Wow, it looks like a lot. really don't have to do this many. You probably shouldn't maybe do this many, but like I said, I'm trying to use up some just, you know, for color and different things, and you're going to get benefits from them too. So hopefully this tastes okay. We'll see. Okay, I'm trying to set you somewhere where you can see. So let's start with the least to the greatest. So these are actually, let's start with these. So this is the purple violets. I'm pretty sure these are purple violets. I don't know why I have red violets. Maybe they're called red purple violets. I don't know. Okay, so this is our part. So this is a tablespoon. So I'm just going to get approximately a tablespoon of these, and that's it. That's what we're doing. So it's not going to be very much. And actually, those probably need to be, we're just going to smash those up a little bit and kind of get them powdery, because this is not going to be, if you were making just a single serving, this wouldn't necessarily need to be smashed up as much. But so we're going to I'm going to get a heaping of the garden roses, only because they're so large. So we're going to break those up into smaller pieces, and if you had a mortable and pestle, you could do that too. Okay, so there's that. So there's another one. Here is a one. We're going to do 1 tablespoon of rose hips. Okay, so that's all the ones. So I'm going to go ahead and write down, I did, let's see, 1 part violets, 1 part garage rose, and 1 part rose hips. Okay, next is the 2 parts. You can use half parts, quarter parts, whatever you want. This is the burdock root that I purchased. So this is going to be 2 parts. So I've got 2 tablespoons of burdock root. So we'll put that back there. And then we have hibiscus is up next. You notice a lot of flowers in this. So we're going to do 2 parts hibiscus. And then we're going to do 2 parts calendula. These are a little bit harder because they are, there are like big flowery clumps in here. So just try to do the best, you know, unless you want to kind of break these up with a mortar and pestle, you could do that as well. And it is harder, like if you have these big old clumps like this, you really probably should, you know, kind of break these up and make it to where it can distribute a little bit better. So we're going to break some of these flower pods up and just kind of get them smaller. Don't forget to write down what you did. Okay, we did 2 parts burdock, 2 parts hibiscus, 2 parts calendula. Okay, so now we're moving on to the other 3. Here's the 3 parts. So we have dandelion leaf, and the thing about this is it is not very powderized. So I'm just going to do that while it's in the jar. I'm going to go ahead and smash some of this down because I do want to be able to measure it pretty good. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some of the smaller stuff down here. That's better. So there's 1, 2, 3. So because we do want lots of dandelion root because of its properties. All right, stinging nettle. I do have more of this. I've been using this a lot. See how small and fine that is? That's what we really want. I need to make sure all my tea herbs are a little bit smaller. Okay, so we've got that. We've got 1 more to add. Let's add our new one, which is horsetail. And we can get some scissors. All right. Little sliver there cut. I've never used horsetail before. It's interesting. Okay, so we're going to do 3 parts of this one. This is the one that's good for your hair, your skin, your nails, all that good stuff. So here is my batch. So this is a small batch. I could have done, I could have used a teaspoon and it would have been much smaller, probably more like 1 or 2 servings. So this isn't too bad. This is about a cup of herbs. So this will last me probably for, I don't know, maybe a week-ish. a few times, so I'm going to try it out and we'll see. I am going to, though, go ahead and get something, and I think I'm going to kind of mortar and pestle this down just a little bit. So let me get something to kind of smash that. Okay, so this came with some Pampered Chef item, I believe. So we're just going to see if this will work a little bit. We just want to smash some of these. You can hear it hitting some of the bigger pieces. We just kind of want to smash it down. I will say that the roses, the pink roses, really make it pretty, and you can see the different colors in here. I have to say it's a very pretty spring tea. I'll show you in just a second. Okay, I think that's good. All right, can you see that? See the pinks? We've got the pink of the roses from the garage roses, and you've also got the nice dark pink red of the hibiscus and the rose hips as well. Now, of course, you can't see the purple violets very much because I did kind of smash those up, but I think it's gorgeous. It's a very pretty, eye-appealing tea, so hopefully it tastes good. I put this in the jar and I'm gonna go try this, but don't forget that you can always add stevia leaf to this. You could make your tea and add some honey or maple syrup just to sweeten it up. I don't usually add any of that to my tea because I drink it hot in the morning, but you could make an like an overnight infusion and then mix in some honey or something like that and drink it throughout the day. Totally up to you. A great way though to stay hydrated with really great benefit. All right, I think I'm going to brew some up and I'm gonna see what this tastes like. So this is my tea sock. I know it looks horrible, doesn't it? But I use this every morning, and this is my little mug that my oldest daughter got me a couple years ago for Christmas. It's one of my favorites, I must say. So we just have this kettle, and I'm just gonna put some water in there. And once that's done, I just set a plate over it and let it steep for a little while. All right, let's see if I can not make a mess. So, oh yeah, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It's got a very deep red color, just what I was actually hoping for, because this might be a cold tea. It's very earthy, and I'm not sure that I will use it as a hot tea. I don't know, we'll wait and see. I think it could use maybe a little bit of a sweetener. I think it's the horsetail that I taste, because I smelled of that and it kind of tastes like that, that smell. So, you know, like next time I might move the horsetail down to 2 parts instead of 3 parts and see what it tastes like. But it's not bad, but this is hot. So I'm gonna experiment a little bit and see what maybe an infusion of like a long infusion in the fridge might do, and see what a cold tea would taste like. So all in all though, I think it's good, and I think it's a great way to get all those extra added benefits along with your hydration. So let me know what kind of teas you like making. If you like just doing like 1 to 2 herb infusions, or if you like doing like me, probably adding too many because you want all the benefits and you just want to use so many different things. Let me know what your thoughts are. What is your favorite tea to make? And be sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to be lovely lights today.